You ever get that feeling, that urge for a robot to just handle a chore you hate? Like wanting a Roomba, but, for your swimming pool. That whole idea, that Roomba psychology, it's really appealing, especially for pool maintenance. So today we're looking at a gadget that promises exactly that. It's the Starrybot Cordless Robotic Pool Cleaner. And our mission here for this deep dive is basically to unpack the hype versus the reality. We're drawing heavily from the Savage Reviews YouTube channel analysis. You asked us to sort it out, so let's dive in. Okay, so the Starrybot. It sounds great on paper, right? Cordless, 150-minute runtime, even the self-parking tech. Seems like a dream setup for keeping the pool clean with minimal effort.
Yeah.
But, well, what happens when we look closer?
Yeah, it's fascinating because almost immediately you start seeing some, let's say, red flags. Even the brand name Starrybot, it just sounds a little generic, like maybe translation software was involved.
Right.
And then the website itself, you look at it, you see these like cartoons, starfish logos, stock photos. It doesn't exactly scream professional aquatic equipment. Feels more like something, I don't know, put together quickly, maybe over a weekend.
That's a fair point about the first impression. Okay, so let's get into the specifics. That 150-minute battery claim. The review really questions this. How realistic is that, actually, for a cordless cleaner underwater?
Well, that's a really critical question. These things operate in a, frankly, hostile environment. Think about it. You've got powerful suction motors running, constant water resistance pushing back, and then the effort of actually picking up debris. It all takes a huge amount of power.
Right.
And the source points out that these underwater conditions, they drain batteries way faster than manufacturers often admit. So when you hear 150 minutes, you got to wonder. It suggests either the performance is kind of weak or those runtime numbers are, well, maybe a bit fictional.
Okay, weak performance or fictional numbers. Neither sounds great. And with those battery issues in mind, what about the self-parking? That sounds pretty advanced.
It sounds sophisticated, definitely. But what the review found is self-parking basically just means the robot floats up to the surface when the battery finally gives out.
Oh, so it just stops and floats.
Exactly. It's not some intelligent navigation system guiding it to the edge. It's just physics. The battery dies, it floats. It really seems like marketing teams found a way to spin inevitable failure mode, the battery dying, into something that sounds like a smart feature, boosts the perceived value,
Wow. Okay, that's clever marketing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And what about who they're aiming this product at? Above ground pools, specifically.
Yeah, and the source calls this demographic segmentation disguised as product specialization.
Neat.
Meaning it's really targeting more price-conscious consumers, people maybe willing to take a gamble on a cheaper, unproven gadget, rather than someone with, say, an expensive in-ground pool who typically invest in more professional, established equipment.
That makes sense. So connecting that to what actual users say, does a pattern emerge?
Right. Oh, absolutely. A very predictable pattern, actually. You see that initial excitement, wow, cordless, so convenient. And then reality kind of sets in. A lot of users admit they end up going back to manual vacuuming anyway, especially for a proper, thorough, clean.
So the robot becomes
Right.
an expensive toy.
Pretty much. Or maybe expensive backup equipment for light touch-ups. And that 900 square foot coverage claim, that likely assumes perfect conditions, flat bottom, no weird shapes, minimal debris, which, isn't most real pools.
Right. Real-world conditions are rarely optimal.
Yeah.
And then there's the long-term view, longevity, what happens down the road.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Our source flags replacement parts as a major concern for these lesser-known brands.
Like Starrybot.
Exactly. If a motor burns out or a filter cracks, finding the right compatible part can become this, expensive scavenger hunt. And let's be honest, these mystery companies, as the source calls them, they have a tendency to just disappear once the warranty's up.
Leaving you stuck with a dead robot.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's boil this down. What's the final verdict from this deep dive?
Well, the bottom line, pulling it all together from the source, is that the Starrybot seems to be a decent backup cleaner, maybe, but it comes with some seriously inflated performance claims and pretty questionable longevity prospects. It might work okay for just light day-to-day maintenance, maybe skimming leaves, but for any actual serious pool cleaning, it seems like it just doesn't quite cut it. It falls short.
So a tool with limitations, marketed perhaps beyond its capabilities. And this whole deep dive leaves us with a bigger question for you to think about. How often do you run into products, not just pool cleaners, where these intelligent features are really just Clever words for basic physics. Or where that initial pull of convenience, that Roomba psychology we talked about, doesn't quite match the day-to-day reality, something to maybe ponder next time you're tempted by an automated gadget.